welcome back to Beards and Brews. Hey, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and follow no matter where you're listening. Not only does it help us out, but you'll know exactly when we have another one brewing. Fellas, this is the story of Riki-OH, or Riki-OH, the story of Riki.
Lick Wong is also a name of it that I found.
Whatever, it might also be known as Troll 2 or something. What'd you think?
It starts like a real movie, which is crazy. You know, it's such a serious tone that you're about to watch some sort of prison-based revenge film. And then it immediately goes off the rails whenever this fucking scene of him walking into the prison and his abs trigger the metal detector. Bro's got abs as steels. I fucking love this.
Yeah, it does definitely start out in a place, and I feel like it just snowballs. Like you have like one little element where there's like you have to, all right, put away your perception of anything resembling reality, and then there's another one that makes you do that even more, and at the end you just end up fighting a giant clay monster.
I think it just be that way, you know? It just do.
Sometimes it do.
Full disclosure though, this movie for me wasn't localized, so I watched this without any kind of dub or subtitling, and boy, this was 90 minutes.
Yeah, this is a Hong Kong film. The native language is Cantonese, so what they're saying, we don't have a fucking clue at all, but I had subtitles, thankfully.
Well, I'm just gonna interject my own little headcanon because I was trying to make sense of most of it. Some stuff I kind of got with Ricky's woman or whatever. I can kind of piece together a portion of it.
It's a bit to take in without context. I've seen this movie 5 times now because I love the ridiculous gore throughout. For me, the plot, everything, the acting, all that takes a back seat to just the ridiculous prison violence we are given. And I don't mean classic American violence where someone gets shot and you might be like, oh man, that's kind of gory. I'm talking fucking anime style violence where a man punches a man in the stomach, rips out his intestines, punches his fist, exploding his arm, and then punches through his jaw and rips it off. What the fuck? Yes, yes, yes.
You know what? I think this movie was made with not being deceptive, but just absolutely having no context in mind, because yeah, this is 90 minutes. It's extremely fucking fast paced. As soon as I get the hint of a plot, this movie's like, nope, we're going to mutilate this man.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So essentially the plot is this dude is in prison. We don't know why just yet. I don't know, something vaguely manslaughtery. But walking in, you see he goes through that metal detector and he's got shards of bullets just embedded in his chest. And they're like, no, it's not a weapon. He's all right. After that, we find out this prison, for-profit prison, as we are told, is run by the gang of 4, the group of 4, something like that.
I know watching now and having a movie have some kind of idea about the future is always kind of wacky, but I do kind of like how the whole plot revolves around oh man, we got some issues with the privatization of all these prisons and stuff. I'm just like, well, so you're telling me this is happening right now? Somebody's face is getting cleaved the fuck off.
It is kind of wild how their dystopian future for 2001 was capitalistic countries have privatized prisons, and it's yep, that's where we're actually at. We are this movie's dystopian future.
Where's my fucking anime superpowers then? I want to punch a man's head off.
Well, you have to disappear for 2 years to make that happen.
Well, maybe it's not about the super kung fu. Maybe the real story of Riki-OH is the friends we made along the way.
You mean the friends you punch in half along the way? Like that poor fucking dog that gets kicked into? That dog didn't do nothing to nobody.
You guys keep mentioning a dog. I don't remember a damn dog.
Ricky gets buried. He's buried alive. And the dog is standing guard to bark if he comes out. Suddenly, through a sewage grate, the weird fucking villain creature jumps up out of the sewer and is like, and fucking kicks it in half.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember that at all. I do have that character down, by the way, as Tila Tequila.
For me, the best way that we could probably do this is to just go ahead and say the gist of this movie, because it all revolves around the violence that is to come. Ricky has went to prison to seek revenge on the drug organization secretly run by the prison that caused his love interest to freak out while on drugs and run off of a building. So he's basically fighting his way level by level, just like in Mortal Kombat, his little face is sliding up the tower as he fights boss after boss.
He even throws down a fatality there at one point.
Yes.
Okay.
He hit all 4 trigger buttons.
Well, that totally makes sense, because without any kind of subtitles, I had to make this movie up myself, and mine was basically just like, oh, this guy walks into prison, he gets caught with buns of steel, he doesn't like how security found his insecurities, so he immediately turns to violence and starts punching people's heads off.
Not bad. But I'll be honest with you, like, I had subtitles, and I still had trouble piecing together the bit about the girl or girlfriend or whoever she was that was evidently high on opium and ran off a building. I saw that happen, did not know what was going on.
Okay, you saw that happen. Eric saw that happen. I saw that happen.
Okay.
We all went, why?
Yeah.
If we can, let's take just a moment. I know we're not at that scene, but it doesn't matter because it's all over the place. This woman is captured. She's overdosing. She springs up, screams, and runs up multiple flights of stairs and directly off of a roof. And man, they don't pull any punches. They take a fucking, like, a dummy and they wing it. You could tell someone grabbed it by the shoulders, threw it from their hip, and sent it into a 180. Yes.
Yeah.
Sent it into a 180 spin as it smashes down to the ground below, and blood starts to pool around it. And all you can think is, what? Why?
I do love the idea that, like, this moment in the movie was just kind of thrown together as, like, yeah, second unit guy, go huck this heavy shit off the building, and he just did out of spite.
Yes.
This was I'll call it the orange is the new black moment. Like, the movie starts where the show does, where it's just like, okay, these people are in prison, but you don't really know why. This is supposed to explain why our boy Ricky is in prison, and it does a really fucking bad job at it, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, for me, it made perfect sense because Ricky's in prison in the flashback for punching an asteroid-sized crater in the side of a man's head.
I mean, he had it coming.
Oh.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of just like, Ricky walks into room, whoever's in room is 100% fucked. Like, without the context, at one point I just thought he was just absolutely just murking people because that's what was expected of him.
Yeah. He almost feels like the villain with no context because in the prison system, you were shown the guards who, of course, they're being cruel or whatever. You're shown these super villain character types, which for whatever reason help Ricky while trying to kill Ricky constantly. And there's no consistency on what they're trying to do with Ricky.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, there's all of these inmates, and they're all dressed the same. They are all only wearing black. And most of them are little shitheads that just want to, like, beat people up. They're on the side of the warden for some reason. But there's a few of them that are actually friends with Ricky somehow. And it's really hard to keep them, like, separated because everyone is wearing the exact same thing.
Yeah, it was really hard to figure out what his, like, little posse was up to, if it was important at all, because I kind of, I did think that, he made these friends because he was excessively violent, and they don't want that violence thrust upon them, so, they had to pick a side, fine, whatever. But then there's, like, this weird side plot where he, like, gives his buddy an ocarina, and they play some Zelda tunes together and some shit, and they're, like, happy for a whole 4 seconds, and he winds up getting turned into mulch, and all of a sudden there's another revenge plot line. I'm just like, what the fuck?
I think you grazed over that ocarina part a little bit brazenly. It's not an ocarina to start out with. He gives him a leaf to blow to whistle through, and then he's like, wait, what? The warden cut out your tongue.
Oh,
Then take this flute, because that'll work.
You're right, because I was thinking, like, why are they playing the leaf? Like, did the guy just walk up and be like, oh, you like grass? And just starts playing a tune?
He's over there hitting left, up, right on his 64 controller. Left, up, right, and then it, like, takes over. Do 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 do, and then Epona runs over.
No, and here's the thing, Ricky, he's got superhuman strength somehow. We know that. Does it also give him the ability to play like actual music on a leaf? Because he does that. He's playing like Fur Elise or something on that thing.
He's into something pretty complicated because, like, he shows him like a couple notes, and then when he starts dancing around all elated that he has a friend, also a gift, he starts laying down like Fly of the fucking Bumblebee. He's an expert now.
Dude, okay. I lost my shit. And I looked over, I watched this with my wife and son, and we all went, we can dance if we want to.
Yeah. It's exactly that scene from Biodome. Also, Pauly Shore's there.
Oh no! We have somebody.
Yeah, what's going on, buddy? He gets his face
Ricki-OH
punched out.
then. Yes, yes. But we get a series of boss fights. And we get to see like each boss fight ranging from Giant Baby Man to Yakuza Dave Bautista to Scorpion Gilbert Godfrey. There's a lot of really good bad guys in here, and they all meet their end in some of the most fascinating ways. I want to bring up one in particular. This is Yakuza Dave Bautista. He is given a combat knife to battle Rikki-OH. Ricky faces him, he throws some freedom powder in his eyes, and starts cutting him up with this knife. Ricky can't see, so he has to flush his eyes with raw sewage, and wowie wow.
Yep.
He then has to sew his arm back together with the muscles in his own arm. Dave Bautista, seeing that he is defeated, disembowels himself, and Ricky, like anybody would be confused, he goes, "Why are you disemboweling yourself?" "Haha, call an ambulance, but not for me, motherfucker." And then he tries to strangle him with his own intestines. Wow.
He reaches into his abdomen, pulls out his own guts voluntarily, and is like, "I'ma choke you with them."
What a fucking baller move. Like, I was not expecting that. And in fact, in context, makes much more sense. Because my own unsubtitled world, that I thought the warden was just upset because Rikki-OH was punching people in half, and the only way that he could find solace was to just be angry, call his best friend to the room, show him his favorite knife. But he wasn't his best friend at all because he took that knife and tried to kill Rikki-OH with it. But really, there's a love triangle going on because the warden really loves Rikki-OH.
I can see the love triangle thing, because for them to want to kill Rikki-OH, this is what I was saying a little bit earlier, it's confusing. They want him dead. But instead of just fucking killing him, they battle him, get defeated, massacred horribly in most times, and then somehow end up saving Rikki-OH so he can then go on to massacre the next big boss.
Well, that's why I thought that guy committed Sudoku, is because, like, oh, well, if I can't have him, then I guess the warden can or something. But then he pulls that fucking Uno reverse and starts choking him with his intestines. Like, you know what? Whatever. Nothing matters.
Exactly. None of it matters. It's all desecration, just like his training scene where him and his senpai go out into the middle of a graveyard. He goes Kaioken times 2 times 5 times 10 and starts just destroying everyone's headstones.
Okay. Because I thought that this was a flashback to a moment when Rikki-OH stumbled upon an old geezer in the graveyard, starts flexing on him, and the old fella does not like his kung fu, so he starts hucking tombstones at him for fun.
By the way, I had the context for that, and I still have no idea what happened. That is Uncle Ghost. That's not a joke. His name is Uncle Ghost.
I guess so, because by the end of it, I was thinking, like, it feels like such a moment where Rikki-OH is just like, "Oh shucks, Dad," and then it just ends.
Skiddly bop boo dow.
Was that Full House?
Yes, it was.
Well, you know, any kind of music to kill the pain.
Ooh, thank you. And speaking of killing pain, what I've got today is from JuneShine. This is the hard kombucha with coconut, pineapple, orange, and nutmeg, 6% alcohol by volume. This is called Midnight Painkiller. You do get a little bit of that pineapple in there, a little coconut, not a whole lot. I get a little bit of papaya, but honestly, what I get is like wet sock. Shit is nasty. Don't buy these. Ugh.
It tastes about as good as that fucking ground up warden at the end.
Ugh. Ugh.
Well, in the midst of all this violence, I'm pretty sure Ricky definitely felt like he had his back up against the wall. Unlike that one guy who literally had his back ripped off and thrown against the wall. Discuss.
hanging there like a college girl's tapestry.
I did enjoy that he disemboweled himself like some Fifth Element. The stones are in me.
Gotcha.
For boss number 2, though, we get Crush Bra Bra. And I don't know what his real name is, but he's like 7 feet tall, got crazy big mullet. He's got fur around his shoulders. I think that's probably the one you're referring to as Tarzan. And his introduction to us is him coming out and just literally doing Crush from WWE's finishing move, the Cranium Crush, where he just takes one hand on either side of your head and smushes.
Yeah, they say in the subtitles they like to pop guys open like coconuts.
I mean, what better way to showcase all those moves you learned from Neil Patrick Harris and Undercover Brother?
That's a movie that I remember existing.
I'll take it. Next scene.
They end up battling into a small prison inside the prison that has a secret room that fills full of concrete. At first, you go, uh-oh, this is going to be a trouble. RIKI-OH definitely at first dives through a steel door, and it rips wide. It's
Y'all,
awesome.
why does this prison have a room that's just like its only purpose is to fill itself full of concrete?
Have you guys never been to jail? It shows.
Yeah, that's real jail. Real jail is just like the scene whenever he finally gets to kill Tarzan. So he's in a trap that becomes a trap that is secured by a trap.
Yeah.
For, I guess, brevity's sake. He's fighting Tarzan, and he is now encased in concrete. Busts out of the concrete. Tarzan says, "Nuh-uh, bitch, let's go." He then punched Tarzan in the hand, exploding his hand. He then punches Tarzan in the chin, exploding his chin. Uh-oh, Tarzan didn't work. Trap number 1, fail. Trap number 2, initiate, which is a giant, I guess, what would you call that? Compactor?
Yeah, it's a giant compactor, and you're terminated, fucker.
Yeah, but when he steps out from his "nuh-uh, you can't crush me" trap, he falls into another trap. That's a fucking trap door.
Dude, I fucking lost it because it's the dumbest shit. It's like he literally like gets out of like the trap, and then the main baddie comes in. He's like, you kind of suck, and he's about to make some speech. He like points at him, and he's like, whoop, nope, got him. Oldest trick in the book.
What do you mean you guys don't have redundancy backup traps? It's like a Rube Goldberg trap machine.
Ooh.
God, I mean, I need RIKI-OH to be Stallone. Just because, like, hey, you got me in that room in there. I didn't like it so much. Oh, what the hell? Just...
So I busted out, and then I fell through a hole, and I landed in another hole, and there was some bad guys down there, and they tried to kill me, and then they kicked my dog in half, and I kind of took that personal.
Dog Wick gets fucking kicked in half. I've never seen this dog before in my fucking life. And there's like a 1 second scene where what I can assume those bad guys from Superman 2, they're just like roaming around underneath the prison. They jump out and just kick a dog in half, and never brought up, never seen again. It just happened, just like, boort, and it's over.
The dog is introduced to be kicked in half.
Oh no, that's his name. Oh, you're so cute, little kick me in half.
Well, they can't let him have any lines, or else they're gonna have to pay him.
Oh, I'm sorry, dog SAG. They have that $200 minimum.
They're a part of a union.
He can't bark, but he can yelp. Barking is considered a line. Yelping is considered a noise.
Got all these Hollywood execs who be like, no, you don't understand. It's not a line. He's just in distress. Kicked in half.
Yes.
That was just the sound of the air exiting his lungs as he took his last breath.
He's just getting boiled alive. That's all.
You guys gotta stop. I'm getting sad.
Well, just for any like reference, it wasn't a real dog. That'd be fucking insane.
But it looks good. It's a good prop. It's the upper half of a dog with some real looking entrails hanging out that bitch, and they just slop it on the ground. It's pretty decent.
I'm glad he did point out, like, yeah, it's just half a dog, because it happens so quickly. It might as well have always been half a dog.
Like, she just kicks half a dog out of her feet. That's her special move. Down forward, low kick, and a half a dog flies out.
Ew. Gross.
Guys, did we mention the scene where he's just out in the rain just practicing his combo moves, trying to figure out what he can do? It was like when they first hand you the controller and you're like, up, down, down. I got it.
The
Let's go.
tutorial? Yes.
Yeah.
You called it earlier because we were discussing it and you said it was like the tutorial where you're just button mashing. Legit.
You're just trying to figure out your combos, and like I said, eventually he finds out a whole fatality.
I mean, I love that explanation because to me, without subtitles, he was just out there mad at Mother Nature, and then Warden Kim Jong-il is just like, hey, can you go stop him doing that gay shit? And then they try.
No, I gotta show off my moves in front of Uncle Ghost.
Uncle Ghost said, hey man, that rain's turning the frog gay. And he's like, start fucking trying to kung fu it up.
I kind of understood that he had this like subplot with his former woman, and I kind of thought that had something to do with the whole reason why he was in prison. Maybe to help a friend or a brother. Maybe. I don't know. There was an ocarina. I mean, at this point, he's kind of like screamed at the heavens 4 to 6 times in anguish. I'm just like, how much revenge is left in this movie?
I don't know, at least like 3 or 4 pounds of ground meat, right?
What used to be Charles is now ground Chuck.
Damn. Well, the only other food we get to see in this whole movie is whenever Ricky gets his like torture scene where they take some rebarb spikes, bend him into his groin and stuff, and Crazy Lady is kung fu kicking him into his nuts, and he takes it like a champ.
So ridiculous.
The razor blades in the mouth was ridiculous.
And then he just spits him right back out at the warden. Razor bladey face up.
And the way it's presented just makes you feel like, why'd you do that to him, stupid? You knew that would happen. Fuck this guy, I guess.
For real.
Like, I feel like there would be so many ways, if you just wanted to kill him, there are so many ways you could just kill him. But it's like, they're like Bond villains almost. They want to torture him a little bit and give him an opportunity to escape. And then what's he going to do? Well, he's going to escape.
It's 100% the scene in Metal Gear Solid where Revolver Ocelot is torturing Snake and you got to pound the square button not to die. And he's just fucking pro at hitting that button. They can't get him. And so he gets through that and they give him rice and it's like the tutorial and they're like, Snake, eat this rice. It's going to help your health restore. You're going to need it for the next round of torture.
No, look, he was not pounding that button. Ricky has a fucking turbo controller. That explains the whole fucking movie.
He's got the fucking Game Genie.
A Game Shark?
Game Shark, I guess, if you're of a certain age. Game Genie, if you were a little bit older, you know, it's not my fault.
Well, the thing is, after they, like, I don't know, punch his nutsack a bunch, he's got to get revenge for it again, you know? Because, like, they did have him in that, like, rebar jail, which at this point would be like a jail, whatever. And, like, you can just tell how inferior this whole thing is, because, like, one, he's taking all the punishment, and they're literally down to just, like, what if we just do something embarrassing and just, like, play with his nads a little bit?
What's he going to do then? He's going to take your leg, stick it into a cryogenic freezer, and Judy chop it off.
I was surprised by that, because, like, damn, he's taking out every single member of BTS.
Oh.
Godfrey didn't deserve what he got, though, okay? Godfrey is like, all right, I've had enough of this. Clearly, we cannot kill this man. I'm going to run away. And the warden shoots him in the butt with that Lance Hendrickson hard target gun.
And he fucking explodes. Yeah. And he fucking explodes.
Oh, is that the guy that I'm referring to as the singer of Hoobastank?
Yeah, he looks just like an Asian Gilbert Godfrey.
Oh my god, at that moment, like, we're, like, legitimately in the home stretch. The last 10 minutes of the movie. And the moment that dude was shot in the ass and exploded, I don't think I've given up harder in my entire life.
Oh, I gave up long before this.
But, I mean, up until then, I'm still trying to, like, maybe piece together. Maybe have a little fun in my head. Let the imagination go. But, like, as soon as this man shot in the ass explodes for no reason, I wanted more.
Guys, you said that you were giving up on this movie, and it's not even reached its final form yet.
No. It's giant clay mongoloid form. It's like Big Trouble in regular China. Like,
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Basically, what you get is the big bad transforming somehow. I don't even know how. What do they do to him? But he just transforms basically into, you know, Zool from, like, the Ghostbusters movie. Transforms into that, but made out of clay.
I mean, I've never approached a boss fight to where the boss was triggered so hard he immediately turns into a second health bar.
Yes. That's perfect. I love this giant, snot-nosed, muscly beast costume. It's just a gore-filled rubber suit that
Yes.
gets fucking beat to death. Does it look like shit? Yes. But can the actor playing Ricky-O
Yeah.
punch literal chunks off of it? Yes. And that's fucking great. He's like punching it in the titty and the titty flies off. He punches in the
Yeah.
gut and the gut explodes.
I was going to say, like, that's the exact thing that it is. A rubber suit filled with jelly, and Ricky-O just going at it like he really needs a handful of Smuckers.
Oh,
Oh, father.
The guy does look like Liu Kang, so it just turns into just a Mortal Kombat fight, and he just uses the stage fatality in the meat grinder.
Yes,
Ooh.
dude. He went all Liu Kang, hit him with that bicycle kick, and then dropped his ass into the meat grinder. I love it. I love it. He breaks down a prison wall with a fart. The end.
he does. Immediately after, he breaks down the prison wall and is like, hey, everybody's free. Why didn't he just do that like an hour and a half ago?
I know the movie does wrap up that quickly, but I just want to briefly mention how this entire time that Ricky is just wreaking havoc on a system that deserves it. All the other prisoners are just like acting like they're doing something. Like, it's not a real fight they're having. They're over there just like pillow fighting around outside, like, oh, I got you. I'm gonna tickle you. And then Ricky-O comes out with this bludgeoned head of the guy he just turned into mince, and he's like, I guess we win now. Bye. And he just T-poses away.
It's literally the ending of Breakfast Club. He walks off, throws the fist in the air. Don't you forget about me.
And
But
then
it's
he
not
walks
actually-
to the wall like the fucking Kool-Aid man or something.
But like it's not like an actual freeze frame. He just stops. Everybody
Yes.
else is just like,
I fucking love it. The story is wild. The fucking acting wild. The sets are basic. The action is preposterous and laughable. It's a fun time.
this was an experience because like the zero context really threw me for a loop to where I was blindsided, much like Ricky's fucking victims. I like got the top of my head punched off on accident. It's puzzling, but in a good way, because like I want to see it again. I recommend it because even without any kind of foundation, this movie is an adventure in just absurd amounts of violence and at that point, imagination, because I don't know what the fuck happened.
Did you guys know that this has a 7.0 on IMDb?
Face
I
Off
can see
carries
why.
an 8.3.
Yeah, there's a big gap there, though. There's a big gap. Man, this movie is something. If you ever want to put something on so you can just look at it and go, what? This is a winner for you. If you want something with a decent story, decent dialogue, and like anything good in filmmaking, probably steer away from this one. But if you're just looking for like live action celebrity deathmatch or Mortal Kombat, where like, I don't know, guys. This I'm speechless.
Yes.
Well, there you have it. That was Ricky-O, or Kung Pao, Enter the Rick. Call it whatever the fuck you want. If you have any strong feelings about the movie or the show, leave it in the comment section below.
Make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Hit all those buttons so you don't miss what we've got brewing up next.
Get out there and follow us on all the social medias. We got Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit. You can find us anywhere podcasts are located, including YouTube. Give us a shot. One of us drinks a lot of booze, and we talk about shitty movies. We're kind of funny sometimes. If you don't, we'll find you, and we'll shoot you in the butt with a gun, and you'll swell up to preposterous size like some kind of fucking Oompa Loompa and then explode.
You guys, what do you think ground Oompa Loompa meat tastes like? I bet it's good. I bet it's tender.
It's so soft.